when the entire nation was united in demanding justice for the 19-year-old victim of the gruesome crime that took place in Hathras in October 2020, there was one organization which was actively trying to instigate caste violence and disrupt peace in Hathras, and that was the Popular Front of India, aka the PFI. The Enforcement Directorate found that 100 crore rupees were pumped from various foreign countries into the bank accounts linked to the PFI. The modus operandi was quite similar to how the British employed Christian missionaries to keep the northeast states of India at war, and how Christian churches and related NGOs were employed by foreign powers to hinder the nuclear energy program in Tamil Nadu. Check our previous videos where we talk about these in detail. The Popular Front of India was an Islamic organization that was banned in India by the Ministry of Home Affairs under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act in September 2022 for a period of 5 years. It was an organization based in India that used foreign soil, Indian diaspora and the migrants to indulge in anti-India activities. And what exactly was the cardinal sin of PFI? Why the ban? And what exactly was the agenda of this Islamist organization? Let us begin from the very beginning. PFI was formed in 2006 with the merger of Islamic organizations like the Karnataka Forum for Dignity and the National Development Front, and initially took up issues like Muslim reservations, but eventually the organization got into kidnapping, murder, intimidation, hate campaigns against other communities, love jihad, and also terrorism. The PFI allegedly had links with the banned Islamist terrorist organization Students Islamic Movement of India, SIMI. SIMI itself was an Islamist fundamentalist organization and was heavily involved in organizing protests against the demolition of the Babri Masjid. Most former leaders of SIMI were either identified with PFI or were holding various offices in the organization. In 2012, the Kerala government informed the Kerala High Court in an affidavit that PFI had active involvement in 27 murder cases, mostly of the cadres of the CPI-M and RSS. In April 2013, a series of raids by the Kerala police on PFI centers across North Kerala found lethal weapons, foreign currency, human shooting targets, bombs, explosive raw materials, gunpowder and swords, among other things. The Kerala police claimed that the raid revealed the terror face of PFI. In 2014, the Kerala government again submitted before the High Court that the activists of NDF or PFI were involved in 27 communally motivated murder cases, 86 attempt to murder cases, and in 106 communal cases registered in the state. In January 2020, former Union Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad stated that the PFI may have played a part in violence surrounding some protests against the Citizenship Amendment Act, CAA. A detailed investigation by the NIA, which was released in 2024, also revealed that the PFI had more than 13,000 active members in Singapore and Gulf countries, including Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. PFI had formed well-defined district executive committees, DECs, for the non-resident Muslim diaspora living in Gulf countries, which was tasked primarily with collecting funds for the organization. Each DEC was given target of several crores of rupees for fund collection. The funds, which were raised abroad, were transferred to India through various circuitous banking channels as well as through underground hawala channels. The NIA also stated in its findings that the PFI was giving arms training under the garb of physical education classes for imparting offensive and defensive maneuvers using different variations of blows, punches, kicks, knife, and stick attacks. These classes were allegedly carried out on the properties registered under dummy owners' names. Also, interestingly, PFI does not have a single property registered in its own name. One such case of conducting arms training under the garb of physical education classes was the Narat Arms Camp case in 2013, wherein PFI was imparting training to its cadres in use of explosives and weapons in an arms camp at Narat in Kannur district of Kerala. The intention was to promote enmity between different religions and prepare the PFI cadres for terrorist activities. Now, coming back to the PFI's active involvement in creating communal tensions and inciting violence, the organization attempted to utilize the gruesome Hathras gang rape incident to stoke violence. On 14 September 2020, a 19-year-old Dalit woman was allegedly gang raped in Hathras district in Uttar Pradesh by 4 men. Sadly, she died 2 weeks later in a Delhi hospital. The incident evoked sharp reactions from people both at home in India and abroad. Student groups, activists, politicians, and members of the civil society across the country staged protests demanding justice for the victim and the resignation of Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Certain politicians indulged themselves in various stunts in order to set their own narrative. Mind you, these are the same politicians that were not to be seen or heard anywhere in the places where similar incident took place and where the friends or allies were in power. Amidst all these happenings, in October 2020, the Enforcement Directorate uncovered a well-planned plot to create unrest and caste violence in Hathras. The Enforcement Directorate found that 100 crore rupees were pumped from various countries into the bank accounts linked to the Popular Front of India. 50 crore rupees came from Mauritius alone. At the same time, the Uttar Pradesh police arrested 4 journalists, Atikur Rahman of Muzaffarnagar, Siddiq of Malappuram, Masood Ahmed of Bahraich, and Alam of Rampur, who were on their way to Hathras from Delhi. Investigations revealed that these journalists were associated with the Popular Front of India and its sister organization, the Campus Front of India. The ban on PFI was not sudden. The National Investigation Agency, as well as the Enforcement Directorate, conducted massive countrywide raids on PFI officers and members through Operation Octopus. Around 200 officers from the NIA and ED and various anti-terror squads of various states carried out search operations at over 150 locations in more than 15 states and arrested more than 100 PFI functionaries. And who was the mastermind behind the Operation Octopus? India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval himself. Doval spent months planning for the operation. He met religious leaders and appealed to them to fight against radical forces. He met the Kerala police officials and also held meetings with security officials at the governor's house in Maharashtra. He kept it highly confidential and even monitored the raids as they were being conducted across India. In the past decade, the Indian government took unprecedented steps to firmly control the more than 7 decades of foreign interference in India. Through instruments like the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, it has been able to control not only the flow of foreign money that was used for anti-national activities, but also the pace of conversions in the country. Similarly, it has also been able to crack down on organizations that took to the hawala route to fund the anti-India activities. Our country is finally getting rid of various kinds of foreign influences and hindrances and has embarked on a path to progress.